There is something timeless about the voice of an elder. It carries not only words, but experiences, memories, and stories of survival. In today's world, where everything feels fast, noisy, and fleeting, we often forget the value of slowing down and listening to the wisdom of those who came before us. Think about it, our parents, our grandparents, or even an older neighbor, they've lived through wars, economic hardships, heartbreaks, illnesses, and the simple passing of time. Yet here they are, still standing, still breathing, still sharing. Their wisdom is not written in textbooks or found in quick online searches. It's etched into the wrinkles on their faces, carried in the pauses between their words, and reflected in the calmness of their eyes. Tonight, let's journey together into the wisdom of age. We'll uncover the lessons elders hold close to their hearts, lessons on patience, on resilience, on relationships, on health, and on living a meaningful life. These are not just stories, they are survival guides passed from one generation to the next. 2. Respecting the wisdom of age. The first lesson we must embrace is respect, the simple act of honoring those who have lived longer than us. In our fast-moving culture, it's easy to overlook the elderly. Technology races forward, trends change daily, and the voices of the young seem to dominate every platform. But if you pause and truly listen, you'll realize that elders carry a perspective no modern trend can match. They know what it means to live without constant distraction. They understand the value of time because they have seen so much of it pass. They know that patience builds strength, that silence carries wisdom, and that kindness outlasts material wealth. An elderly man once said, "The world may change, but the human heart doesn't." And how true that is. Beneath all our gadgets, careers, and busy schedules, we still long for love, purpose, and connection. Elders remind us of this truth every single day. To respect their wisdom is to slow down and absorb the lessons written in their lives. 3. Lessons on patience and resilience. If there is one gift elders hold above all, it is the lesson of resilience. They have endured storms, both personal and historical, that many of us can only imagine. They survived times when the world felt uncertain, when jobs were scarce, when sickness spread without warning, when families had to stretch a single meal to feed everyone at the table. And yet, they found a way to endure. From these struggles comes patience. Elders will tell you that rushing rarely solves a problem, but patience allows clarity to emerge. They will remind you that no hardship lasts forever, that even the darkest winter eventually gives way to spring. Think of a grandmother knitting in silence, her hands moving slowly, steadily. That patience isn't just about making a sweater. It's a reflection of how she lived her life, slow, deliberate, and filled with endurance. Resilience is the quiet power that keeps the elderly standing tall, no matter how heavy the years may feel. And through their stories, they pass that strength to us. 4. The value of relationships. When elders speak of happiness, they rarely mention money or possessions. They speak of people, the children they raised, the friends they laughed with, the neighbors who stood by them in hard times. Ask an elderly woman what she remembers most from her life, and she won't describe the cars she owned or the houses she lived in. She will talk about the dinners shared around the family table. She will recall the sound of children playing outside. She will remember the comfort of holding someone's hand during a moment of loss. Elders remind us that relationships are not just important, they are the foundation of a meaningful life. In a world obsessed with chasing careers, wealth, and recognition, it is easy to forget that one day, the only thing that will truly matter is who stood by us, and who we stood by. This wisdom is simple, yet powerful. Nurture your relationships, because in the end, love is what remains. 5. Health, simplicity, and daily habits. One of the secrets of longevity is not found in expensive supplements or complicated fitness programs, but in the simple habits that elders practice every day. They wake up early, not because they have to, but because the rising sun feels like a gift. They walk, not for exercise points or step counts, but because movement keeps the body alive. They eat meals that are simple, home-cooked, and nourishing, instead of chasing after fast food or processed trends. An elder might say, drink water when you're thirsty, rest when you're tired, eat until you're satisfied, and walk a little every day. These are not groundbreaking scientific findings, but they work. They have always worked. Simplicity is the true medicine. Elders teach us that health is not about chasing perfection, but about small, steady choices that add up over time. 6. Finding peace in faith and reflection. As the years go by, elders often turn to faith, spirituality, or quiet reflection. Why? Because they know that inner peace is the greatest strength a person can carry. They have learned that the world outside can be chaotic: wars, politics, financial troubles, but the world within can be calm if you nurture it. Some find that peace in prayer. Others in meditation. Some in walking slowly through a garden at dusk. Faith is not always about religion, it's about trust. Trust in life, trust in something greater than ourselves, and trust that even hardships have meaning. Elders teach us that reflection is just as important as action. That slowing down, breathing deeply, and appreciating silence can heal more than constant noise ever could. 7. Legacy and passing down wisdom. The final lesson elders often share is about legacy, not the money they leave behind, but the values, memories, and guidance they pass down. A grandfather telling stories to his grandson is not just filling time, he's shaping the boy's future, planting seeds of wisdom that will grow long after he's gone. A grandmother teaching her granddaughter how to cook a family recipe is not just preparing food, she's preserving tradition, connection, and love. Elders live not only for themselves but for those who come after. They know that life is short, but wisdom, if shared, is eternal. Their greatest gift to us is not wealth or possessions, it is the reminder of what truly matters. 8. Closing thoughts. As we close this journey into the wisdom of age, remember this: every wrinkle tells a story, every pause hides a lesson, and every elderly voice carries a lifetime of survival, strength, and love. In our modern world, we often search for answers in books, online courses, and self-help guides. But sometimes, the answers are sitting right next to us, in the quiet voice of an elder who has already walked the road we are on. Respect their wisdom. Listen to their stories. Carry their lessons forward. Because in doing so, we not only honor them, we prepare ourselves to live fuller, stronger, and more meaningful lives. So tonight, as you reflect on these words, remember, wisdom is not about age alone, it is about experience, perspective, and the courage to keep living with hope. And no one embodies that better than the elderly.